What's going on, trucking junkies? Breaking out my brand new gloves that you can get on Amazon, on my Amazon store. Link below. We picked this load up yesterday, North American Stainless, and this load made me so mad I didn't film any of it. So, but I'll tell you the story. So I get this load right after I dropped off those that bar, and what, 5 o'clock yesterday morning, right? So I get this load, and the appointment time is 10:30, and I'm gonna be there like 30 minutes early, right? I get going down the road, gonna be there 30 minutes early. I get 28 miles away, and it stopped traffic. Here you go. No reason why that traffic was stopped. There was one car off on the side of the road changing a tire. I'm not quite sure if that was the problem, but didn't seem like it should be. So it stopped, traffic stopped. I'm stopped for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. We were there for almost an hour, which ended up being 30 minutes late getting there. Not a big deal. They took us in. There was another Maverick truck driver that was stuck in there. Really nice lady. She actually knows one of my students. She was in the class with one of my students, Jason Rowe. What's up, Jason? But anyway, so we're both getting loaded at the same time. Her appointment was 11:30, so she got there on time. I did not. They've got us both in there loading. They load her up with a couple of coils. They load me up with these 3 coils. We both go out there and get our tarps and stuff on. She got loaded right after I did, so she was just a little bit behind me. And I get my stuff on. I get all of this on it. North American Stainless, when you get live loaded, you get your coils, and then you get your tarps on, and then you go, they give you your paperwork and all that stuff, and then you go and get weighed out. So I go up there to get weighed out and leave, and by this time it's like noon. It's like noon, and I get up there, and the lady's like, "Give me just a second." The lady at the desk, and I'm like, "Okay." And then she tells me, she says, "Your weights don't match what they're saying is on my bills." So she says, "I need you to turn around off the scales, come back on the other scales, and go around their building, right? And go back to door 34, walk inside, and they're going to come out and they're going to look at your coils." So I'm like, okay. And when they say look at my coils, the first thing that hits me is I've got my tarps and stuff on here. I'm gonna have to take these stinking tarps off again, you know, for them to look at my coils. Well, I go in there and they do some math, and they're like, yeah, something's off. So 2 of them come out here, and I take this side off, right? Just kind of fold it up so they can look at the coils, look at the little stickers on the coils, see what they say they weigh. And then they tell me, well, we're gonna have to re-weigh your coils because one of them's not right. And at that point, I'm livid. You know, you spend an hour doing this stuff, and then they want you to undo it, and then they want you to redo it back up. You know, it's total pain in the butt. You know, extra work. You know, not your fault. You know, you did your job correctly. You know, speaking you as in me. So, and remember, this all started at 12 o'clock, right? 12 o'clock. And so I go in, they said, we've got an open lane in door 35, go over there, pull up, and they'll weigh your coils, right? So I get over to door 35. They don't tell me which bay to go into. So I'm sitting there in bay 3, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. Nobody shows up. The two guys that were out there with me looking at this stuff, they didn't follow me in there, so no instructions whatsoever, right? So I walk over and find someone that works there with a walkie, and he's like, can I help you? I was like, yeah, somebody's supposed to come be weighing these coils. They're screwed up, right? So he gets on the radio and he says, you're supposed to be in bay 4. That's why nobody's come out there yet, because you're not in the right bay. And I'm like, you know, a little bit of information would be very handy. You know, they could have told me, hey, go to door 35, go to bay 4. I wouldn't have been sitting there, whatever. So I pull up to bay 4. Another 25 minutes later, someone finally shows up, and he says, am I supposed to be reweighing your coils? And I'm like, yeah. And so he says, all right. He says, I'll be back. So he takes off and he loads another truck, right? And then comes back, pulls the middle coil off, because that's the one they thought was not weighed correctly, which is the one that I had unsecured, which is what they told me, right? It was going to be the middle one, the heavy one. And he gets it off, goes and weighs it, and it weighs correctly. It weighs what it says it's supposed to weigh. So he comes back and puts it on the truck, and he says, I'm gonna need to take that other one, that back one off. So then I go over there and I'm undoing the coil. Well, he walks off. And it takes like 2 seconds to get 2 chains off a stinking coil. And the dude walks off and starts loading another truck. Look, I get that these guys got to stay busy, but you know, none of that was my fault. And I need to go, right? Well, another 25 minutes later, he finally comes back and weighs the middle coil, or the last coil, the back one, and it's off by 900 pounds. It's too heavy. So he radios that in, puts it back on my truck, radios that in. And so I asked him, I said, is it all right for me to go ahead and chain this stuff back up? I'm tired of waiting, you know. I'm getting a little frustrated, you know, pretty well pissed. And he's like, yeah, you should be all right. So I go ahead and start chaining everything up, and then another guy from the first team of dudes that came out there shows back up with paperwork for the correct weights. And I asked him, I said, how does something like that happen if y'all are weighing every coil? And he says, well, he said, these came off of a different line, and their scale over there tends to be, you know, off some every now and then, so we have it calibrated you know, 3 times a week, you know, I would say if you've got to have the thing calibrated 3 times a week, you probably need to replace it. Just me, you know. And he said my truck was the third one that day. Third one that day that was not correct. 3 of us, at least 3 of us, that yesterday had to go through that same crap, right? So by the time I got everything back on, you know, tarps, securement, all that stuff, by the time I got it all back on, it was 3 p.m. 3 o'clock. I mean, I showed up at 11. And now it's 3. Man, sometimes things just don't go right. Things just don't go right. So yeah, I was pretty well pissed yesterday. And tired because I'd been up so early. You know, I got a small little short nap between dropping that off yesterday morning at 5. On duty, load, unload next, and complete those changes. All right. Whew. Almost like I knew what I was doing there. Ooh, look how close I got to that. No big deal. I'm right on the dock. All right. So you guys know that I go to the doctor every 6 months, or at least people that have watched this channel for a while does, right? My doctor keeps talking about weight loss. Everything is fine, everything's cool, you know, except he don't like my weight, you know. And I've been trying to do better, been trying. It's just hard, you know. And it's like I said at the first of the year, I'm gonna try to lose some weight this year. It just hasn't happened. I have cut down on my soda intake during the week. Weekends are kind of a problem. What, that thing was loose? Why was that loose? Wasn't loose this morning. Anyway, weekends are a little harder because I'm just, you know, at the house, not real busy, you know. But I have been drinking a lot more water, a lot less sugar, you know, sugar drinks and stuff like that. So the wife and I, and the wife and I love to cook. Okay, I love to cook on the weekend. She is a really good cook. You know, so we have cooking skills. One of my problems is I don't like meal prepping at all. Just don't. It takes time, and I don't want to spend that time doing it. You know, we'll cook. When we do cook on the weekends, we'll cook a lot. And then I'll take that stuff with me on the road, and about half of it gets eaten because I'm always busy. And sometimes I'm too tired to heat all that up, prepare it, eat it, you know, heat it and all that stuff. And then also, I have a sweet tooth like nobody's business. My sweet tooth gets to me every time I go into a convenience store, man. Every time. It's horrible. Retrain my brain. About not walking down the candy aisle, you know, and not just grabbing something from the, you know, from the hot case. So the wife and I have sat down over the last couple of weeks and talked about food. And oh my God, y'all been to the grocery store, you know how expensive food is. And I don't know if you've been to a fast food place here lately, but if you get a combo meal for anything, it's 12 bucks and up. So not only are we spending money on groceries, at the tune of about, you know, 300 bucks a week, and then come out here on the road and you're spending, you know, let's say you got let's say I get 3 meals at a fast food restaurant or a Subway or something, right? That's another, what is that? That's gonna, let's just say on average 15 bucks. That's another 45 bucks out here on the road, right? It's a lot of money. Lots of money. And I normally don't eat a lot of breakfast, you know, just some kind of protein or something. I used to scarf down, you know, sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits like nobody's business, but I've gotten out of that habit, which is good. But it's just a bunch of calorie dense stuff. Horrible. And my wife doesn't eat breakfast. She drinks a cup of coffee in the mornings, and then she eats a lunch, you know, and sometimes she doesn't take stuff for lunch because it's inconvenient, or she didn't pack something the night before. You know, it's not working for us, right? So we sat down over the last couple of weeks and we talked about meal prep services. And things like HelloFresh and stuff like that, where, you know, you still got to cook it, you still got to clean up, still got to do all that stuff, right? So I got into looking at already prepped meals, and we decided to try Factor 75. And I don't know if y'all know what Factor 75 is, but I'll explain it. Just a quick explanation. On their website, they have 35 meals you can choose from, and they're adding to them all the time. And they can be either for protein intake. They got vegetarian meals. They got vegan meals, which I'm neither one of those. They also have keto meals. They have calorie conscious meals and weight management meals. And they're all fresh. They come in fresh in a cooled box, and you get it every week. So you get your meals already cooked, already prepped by a chef, correct portion sizes for your goals, which is what I'm looking for. And they're microwavable in 2 minutes. So we have ordered our first box. There we go. We've ordered our first box, and it should be here not this week but next week. It's supposed to come on a Wednesday. And in the box we ordered 20 meals, and you can order, I think it said anywhere from 6 meals to 24 meals, I think it said. I don't know, something like that. So we ordered their 20 meal deal, and that's going to give me 10 meals that I can eat during the week, and her 10 meals that she can take and eat during the week. Now on the weekends we may go ahead and still cook, right, to supplement what we're getting from Factor. But we're going to see how this stuff tastes and how, you know, how we like it. Oh man, I've done a little bit of research on it, and people that I've watched videos from. Now you know you take stuff with a grain of salt. I won't know until I actually try them. But they say they actually taste really good. So I'm hoping for the portion size to help, and the weight management to help. So we're gonna see. And it's and apparently they have, well, not apparently, but they do. I looked at it. So when you first initially sign up, they pick 20 meals for you, but you can go in and you can delete meals that you don't want and then add meals that you do want. Now they do have some premium meals, and I think we got like 4 of those or something like that, and they're just a little bit more. They added about 40 bucks onto the cost, you know, but it's like steak and stuff like that. So, you know, and I need my steak. I do. But you know, it's, I don't know, we're gonna see for the convenience of it, you know, me not having to spend a whole lot of time doing stuff. We'll see. I hope. And there's a reason why. Okay? Oh, not only the health the health benefits or whatever that it might bring me. We're hoping it'll bring me. Okay, we're hoping. All right. The other thing is my daughter's getting married in a year. She called us last week and told us she's marrying a really nice guy. His name is Tyler. They've been together for like 5 years, and they've got a house together and all this stuff. But you know, we're really happy for her. But you know, Dad would like to look a little bit better, you know, in wedding pictures than what he looks right now. You know what I mean? But we'll see. Oh man, hope they get this off here quick. I need to go get that other stuff. And we're going to Atlas too. I've not been there in, man, maybe 4 years. Maybe the first year I was with Maverick, I went to Atlas too. But it's been a while. You always want to wait until it clears your trailer before you go back to do anything. Once it's cleared your trailer, you can, you know, go do a little work. But I don't trust, you know, trust the operator. I don't much trust the mechanics. I don't think the operator will do anything on purpose, but you know,